here today coming from our homes into yours to say, firstly, I hope you are all staying safe. But I do not need to be the first person to tell you that not everyone has the option to stay in a safe environment. We are working with partners who have extensive experience in civil rights, justice reform, prison reform, and wrongful conviction. And they have alerted us to the dire situation that's going on in prisons right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. Prisons are understaffed and overcrowded. Inmates are crowded on top of each other in bunks, in cells, and in dining halls. They are inherently set up to be a breeding ground for infectious diseases if one were to run rampant. We know for a fact that COVID-19 stays on metal surfaces for up to 5 days.
We are in a pandemic, which creates incredible urgency. Once the virus gets into the prison system, it takes off like a fire in a dry barn. I know this from personal experience. I spent 9 years in a women's federal prison, and when the flu came around every season, it was almost impossible to not catch it. COVID is far more contagious than the flu. There's no such thing as social distancing inside of a prison. It's impossible. We don't have a way to protect ourselves from cross-contamination. My name is Amy Ralston-Pova, and I'm the president and founder of the Can Do Foundation. Having the proper gear, such as masks, hand sanitizer, and COVID-19 testing is critically important to protect the prisoners. We need to be able to move swiftly. Lives are at stake, and people are going to die if we don't get them the proper gear that they need.
Prisoners are given 1 bar of soap a week. This is to act for both their personal hygiene and their laundry. That soap usually doesn't last the full week. There's a single Ohio prison where 78% of the population has tested positive for the coronavirus. Across the nation and federal prisons, over 70% of inmates have tested positive for coronavirus. And not all prisons have access to proper testing kits. One New York City prison said it only had 9 kits available.
Please help us get the protective gear, masks, hand sanitizer, and COVID-19 testing into the hands of the prisoners and the staff so that our prisoners can be safe, or we are going to have an apocalyptic crisis on our hands. So many people will die in the prison system if we don't act now.
Not only does your money send a care package to the prison staff members or prisoners, but also to the in-need family members as well. Your money will help get masks, hand sanitizer, and testing equipment to the prisons that need it most. All donations are tax deductible.
I'm proud to be a part of Avvakend's unviral campaign that will be help making efforts to give personal protection equipment to those in need at this time. I'd like to talk about my experience with coronavirus. I caught coronavirus from my dad, and he worked at the jail, which was a hot spot here. I was diagnosed on my 13th birthday, April 19th of this year. It was really devastating news and experience for me and my family, and it was really terrible, and I had a headache, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't move, and I lost weight from not being able to eat.
My name is Jenny. To everyone who has taken the time to hear this, I wish you a wonderful, peaceful year ahead. These are truly difficult and unprecedented times. This will be the ultimate test of the fundamental fabric of human nature, and our behavior at this time will determine what example we leave behind for the future generations. The sympathy, the sensitivity, the generosity, and the willingness to help, and the phenomenal willpower required to curb and control our greed and selfishness, all this will be tested. And this will be the time for us to put aside our differences and just help us heal one life at a time.
Help us get masks, hand sanitizer, and testing equipment into the prisons. Help us support the prisoners' families. Help us go unviral and combat COVID. Help us give a voice to the voiceless and help us save lives. We need you. Thank you.